Hi, this is Ron Ball, and I want to welcome you again to Choose Greatness, Your Keys to a Happier Life. We have had the most wonderful experience with this show. I've heard from a number of you. You are very excited, and your excitement excites me. So you want to continue to tell all your friends about this opportunity for great Christian growth. Now, those of you who've heard the show before know that the purpose of this program is to help all of you have a greater, better life than you've ever had before. Our purpose together is to help you experience God's power in such a way that your life will explode, that you'll just have so much fun and you'll have the life of your dreams. Now, this show is very practical. You've learned that already. This is an opportunity for you to learn techniques and principles that you can apply with God's help to just make your life that much greater. Well, today I'm going to talk to you about energy. I want you to have super abundant energy. You cannot do anything without energy. Now, you may be a person who gets up and struggles to get the morning started. You may be someone who has to have a fix of caffeine, your 6 cups of coffee, whatever you need to do. Well, I am excited because I have done research that can help you move beyond all of that, that can give you energy, that can unlock your resources. The Bible says in the book of Psalms that you are wonderfully and fearfully made by God. And God gave you this human mechanism, this biological body. God gave you the means to have a great life. And a great life is more than just the spiritual, it's the whole package. It is spiritual, mental, emotional, psychological, and it is physical. Now, since I was last with you, we had a crisis in my family. My father, at the age of 89, just almost died. A very serious situation developed. We took my dad to the hospital. He's a World War II Navy veteran, so we took him to a Veterans Administration hospital. Excellent facility near our home, about 50 miles away. My mom didn't know what to do. I said, "Don't worry, I will take Dad." And when we took him in, the original idea, the original diagnosis was that he was going to be fine. It was a minor procedure. It was no big deal. And then everything went crazy. We were told on the follow-up visit that it was much more serious than we had anticipated, that there was a tumor in his colon and it needed to be dealt with surgically immediately. So all the arrangements were very quickly made, and my dad thankfully came through with great success. We had people praying all over the United States. We activated thousands of prayer partners who prayed for my dad. But I was very interested in what the surgeon told us about him. Now, my dad's a Christian, as many of you are, great love for Jesus Christ. And early in his life, even though he was a Navy veteran and always been involved in fitness, he didn't really take care of himself in the early years. He started smoking when he was 12 years of age and suddenly stopped when he was 36, but it was enough time to do damage to his heart muscle. So he had a heart attack at 51, and then 5 stints later, here he is at 89 facing very serious major surgery. So we were told to be careful because something could happen to his heart. Well, as I said, we activated thousands of prayer partners, and they just focused their prayers on my dad, and God intervened. God touched him. It was really wonderful to see God help my dad. But the surgeon told us after the surgery, he was amazed at how physically strong my dad was at 89 years of age. In fact, he had his 90th birthday last Sunday just after the surgery. But what excited me was that God helped him with all of this wonderful surgical intervention. God was there helping him come through successfully. But I noticed something else out of this experience. And this is what I want you to notice as I explain this to you right now. When I was at the VA hospital, I had an opportunity to observe a lot of different people. And many individuals at that Veterans Administration looked older and in much worse physical condition than my dad at the age of 89. Now, there were men and women in that hospital who were 20 years younger than me, not Dad, me. But they were broken down. They were struggling through life. They had low levels of energy. And as I observed all of this during the 2-week span when my dad was having the surgery and the recovery, I began to realize that people need help, not just spiritually, and yes, they need help spiritually, but they need help physically. Now, what about you? How is your level of health right now? What is your level of stress? What is your level of energy? Do you have super abundant energy as a Christian? I mean, do you have the energy to move forward and be active? I mean, you cannot do anything without energy. Am I right? Really, honestly, is this correct? Of course it is. You can't do anything without abundant energy. And you don't want to just be caffeine dependent to get started every day. You want to tap the natural resources of the body God gifted you with. So you're God's creation. You have this wonderful human mechanism. You have this wonderful biological opportunity for action in your life. So what do you do and how do you do it? Well, let me give you an introduction, and on this particular program, I want to hear from you. I want you to go to choosegreatness.com and email me and let me know your questions, because this show and the ones following for the next few weeks, I'm going to be talking about health and energy, and I want your response. So make sure you do that. Let me hear from you, because I want to know your physical condition. Now, I'm not a doctor. My best friend is a doctor, and I consult with him on these shows. But I'm not a physician myself. My training is in psychology and counseling and all those metrics that have to do with the human mind. That's my background as far as my education. So I'm not going to give you direct medical advice, but I'm going to tell you, based on research, what I believe God can use to give you higher levels of energy. Todd Henry is a researcher in human performance, trying to make men and women better. Athletics, business, family affairs. I mean, he just researches everything. And he came up with a really fascinating sequence of what happens to people as they get older. Now, when he talks about older, he doesn't mean like old, he means like 30, okay? And now I know if you're 30, that's not old, but you're getting older. So what happens to your energy level? Well, Todd Henry writes, based on his research, that there's a whole psychology that begins to affect your energy level. It's not always physical in the beginning. Here's what he describes. In his research, he said that people begin to experience difficulties in life, and so they develop a sense of discontent. Now, I know that you feel guilty sometimes if you have a commitment to Christ, but you feel discontented. But what you have to do is say, why do I feel discontent? What's the source of it? What's the reason for it? There's something out of balance in your life. We're going to find what that is in the next few minutes and help you to overcome that. But right now, notice what he says. This is fascinating. Are you experiencing this right now? Do you have this sense of discontent that something is not quite right in your daily life and it affects your stress and your energy level? There's just this core of discontent somewhere. Now, he goes on in his research and says that after you have this sense of discontent, you often then develop a sense of resentment. You resent your boss, you resent your job, you may even resent your wife, your husband, even your kids. You just have this growing sense of resentment. It's almost like a low-grade fever. And you have this discontent and this resentment that just works at the subterranean level of your life. It's down in the basement somewhere. You don't always show it with your friends, your family, but it's always there gnawing at your core. So that leads to the next level that he describes. He says you start with a sense of discontent. Now remember, Remember, this whole program is to help you come to a level of superabundant energy. But you need to understand the psychology first. And that's where this man's research comes in. I'm just clarifying what I'm doing. So you have the discontent and you have the resentment. And then, wow, when I read this statement by Todd Henry, when I read this, it connected with me powerfully. Let's see what it does for you right now. He said, if you let this situation go unresolved long enough, you are going to then move to what he calls a sense of suffocation. Suffocation, as if you're being smothered by your stress, as if there are layers and layers of pressure bearing down on you. It's almost like you're submerged in water, and the deeper you go, the pressure of the water just bears you down. Do you sometimes feel like that during the course of your normal day? You go about your activities, your responsibilities, but you just feel suffocated. Now, what you need to do next is you need to come to a sense of new opportunity, a new way to resolve this, and that's the purpose of today's Choose Greatness program. Now, the whole idea behind this show is to help you find God's principles that work to have a greater life, to have a happier life. That's why the show is subtitled, Your Keys to a Happier Life. So if you want a happier life, superabundant energy is a really big deal. Now, you've gone through the psychology for the last few minutes, and I see that, I know that you're working this through your mind right now. I kind of am aware that you listening are thinking, well, is this me? Is this me? Do I live like this? And if the answer is yes, then you need to listen to what I'm about to tell you. This really helps people, and this can make a big difference to your life right now. Those of you who've heard me before know that I'm a public speaker, and I work mostly outside the traditional church. I'm a committed Christian who believes the Bible and takes that message to men and women in other places, in other locations who are not necessarily Christians. So I'm always trying to translate God's principles to a larger audience, hopefully to win them to Christ, but also just to alert them to how great God's principles are. Well, not long ago, I was doing a convention in Cleveland for a large sales company. And they wanted me to do something on high levels of performance. I mean, if you're going to be a good salesperson, you need a lot of energy, which fits what I'm telling you about right now. Energy, energy, energy. You need energy to sell, energy to take care of kids. You need energy to get up in the morning and make sure your family's ready for the day. I mean, you need a lot of energy. Well, I was doing this conference in Cleveland. I spoke 3 times, and this company is owned by a dynamic Christian family. They make hundreds of millions of dollars in their company, and they're great givers, and they really love Jesus. They're just super terrific people. And they told me, the family met with me during the middle of the conference and said, Ron, this is a home run. This is what everybody needs. Everybody needs this abundant energy and high performance that you're talking about. Well, I want to give you a little taste of what I did in that convention and connect it to what I'm telling you in this program today. Because I had a seminar on Saturday afternoon with that large group in Cleveland and told them how they needed to understand energy. And that's what I want to do for you right now. Now, this is really easy, and anybody can do this. You can do this. What I want you to do is decide that starting today. Now, I don't know whether this show airs on, I think, Mondays and Fridays, so you may be seeing it on a Monday, maybe seeing it on a Friday, but whatever day you're seeing this program, I want you to start later today doing what I'm about to describe. I want you to do what's called in performance technology a DEC, okay? I'll explain what it is. A D is in David, E is in Edward, C is in Charlie. I want you to do a DEC. In fact, I want you to prepare for it today and start it tomorrow morning when you wake up. Now, what is a DEC? Well, it's very simple. In performance technology, a DEC is known as a daily energy chart. I'll say it again, a daily energy chart. Now, this will be the foundation of your discovering your energy levels that you need every day. And here's what you do to do a DEC. You get up tomorrow morning, you do this for 1 week, and you have to be strict. I mean, do you want this to work? Then you need to work it. So this is what you do. You get up in the morning and you chart your level of energy on a scale of 1 to 10, 5 being average, 7 being better, 2, you need some help, okay? So on a scale of 1 to 10, you need to chart where your energy is every day. And here are the key moments that you chart your energy. You chart your energy level at 15 minutes after you get up in the morning. 15 minutes after you get up, you take a piece of paper, maybe you want to do it on your smartphone, a pad, however you are comfortable, but just put a number to your energy level 15 minutes after you wake up. You want a number. Is it a 3? Is it an 8? Is it a 10? I mean, you're exploding with energy. Whatever it is, write that number down 15 minutes after you get up in the morning. Then write down the number 5 minutes after you eat breakfast. Now you'll see how the chart works as I describe this. Stay with me for a moment. All right, here's what you're going to do. 15 minutes after you get up, write your number down. 5 minutes after breakfast, write your number down. Then 10 minutes after, I'm sorry, I missed one. Let me back up for a moment. That's the good thing about doing a show like this. I can be flexible, you can be flexible, so let me back up. If you drive to work, you need to chart your energy level immediately at the end of that drive. What was your energy level like during the drive to work? Now, what some people discover with this energy chart is they dread going to work. If that's the case, there are some situations on your job that you need to deal with. So when you are on your way to work, be aware of your energy level, and as soon as you park your car, write down your energy number at that moment. Then, next, write down your energy number 10 minutes after you eat lunch. Next, write down your energy number after you drive home. Next, write down your energy number 30 minutes after you get home. And then write down your energy number last thing of the day, 15 minutes before you go to bed at night. So let me review and show you how this works, and then I'm going to give you a great secret that you can use to jump your energy and to have a better day. Now, why am I doing this? Let me back up, stop, hold it right now, stop. We're doing this so you can have a greater impact in your life for God's glory. I mean, is God glorified by you struggling through life every day? No energy, no power, no passion. I mean, what does that do for you, your family, or the kingdom of God? So that's why this matters. If you want a better life, a greater life, then energy is fundamentally critical. And if you're having an energy crisis, this will help you understand why. So let's review the chart just for a moment, and then I'm going to tell you what to do with it. And this is pretty exciting. So hang with me for a moment. Let's review. 15 minutes after you get up, energy number. 5 minutes after breakfast, energy number. As soon as you drive to work and get at that location, energy number. 10 minutes after lunch, energy number. Drive home, energy number. 30 minutes after you get in, energy number. 15 minutes before you get ready to close down for the day and get ready for bed, energy number. Now do that for 1 week. Trust me on this. You need to do this. This is performance technology that top salespeople use to know when they're at their best. Athletes use this to know when they peak in a game, in a competitive situation. So I'm just giving you the same technology that's used in those arenas for your personal use in your life. Chart yourself for 1 week, and at the end of the week, what you're going to see is, you're going to see when you're at your best. You're going to see when you're stressed. You're going to see when you need God's help even more. You're going to see when you need to stop and take a breath and regroup. You're going to chart yourself for 1 week. And after you do that, you're going to be able to plan what to do next. Now, there are certain energy drains that I'm going to talk about on the next show. I'm not going to get to that yet. But the first thing I want you to do is I want you to see your ups and downs, your ebbs and flows. I want you to see your chart. I want to see where you are with energy. Because there are certain times of the day, there are certain moments of the day when you're just better than you are at other moments. Why is that? Winston Churchill famously took a nap around 1 o'clock every afternoon, and he was massively busy. I mean, my goodness, he was trying to win a war against Nazi aggression. His whole country was threatened with invasion and death and slaughter. So, why could he take a break? How could he take a break? But he did take a break because he said his energy dropped after lunch. So he then decided to take a nap after lunch, and that rejuvenated him because he understood his energy chart. He understood the ebb and flow. He understood all this. Well, you need to do that as well. Dwight Eisenhower, President of the United States in the 1950s, who was the commander of Allied forces who worked with Churchill, Eisenhower famously said that he never made a serious decision after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, he's President of the United States of America with incredible responsibility. And he said he never made a serious decision after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What's going on? He understood his energy chart. So that's why I have focused on your DEC in this show. It is performance technology. Athletes use it. Top business people use it. Senior executives use it. The energy chart is something that is not known to the general public, but these high performers have done it for decades. So what I want you to do is very, very simple. I want you to do the energy chart 1 week, and then next week when we come back to our show, I'm going to tell you what to do with the information that you gathered. But right now, it's important that you actually follow through and chart yourself and know why you have certain ebbs and flows of energy. It may be nutritional. I'll deal with that a little later. In fact, for the next several shows, I'm going to be dealing with fitness for Christians, with energy for Christians, and it's going to be great. Remember what the verse in Psalms that I quoted earlier, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made by God? Well, listen, God didn't give you your body so you could physically fail. He gave you a machine to use for His glory. And I want you to maximize and optimize yourself. Ira Glass is a radio personality. And he had a program not that long ago where he dealt with goal setting. And he said something I think could be very, very powerful to you. Very, very powerful to you right now. If you're a committed Christian and you love Jesus, and you're wondering why you don't have more energy in your life, more excitement, more just sheer happiness in your life, it could be physical. It could be that you're not understanding your energy chart. But here's what Ira Glass said that connects all of this together. He talked about what he termed the aspiration gap. This is so neat. This is so cool. Listen to this. The aspiration gap. He said the aspiration gap is the difference between what you want and what you are willing to do to get it. Listen again. What you want and what you are willing to do to get it. If you're in that gap right now, if you want to lose weight but you're not willing to diet, if you want to be in better shape but you don't want to do aerobics, if you're not sleeping right but you don't want to deal with your sleep routine, if you have low energy but you're not willing to do the DEC that all these high performers do, then you have to ask God to help you to come out of the gap. Ask God to help you to come out of your gap. The gap between what you want and what you're willing to do to get it. Now, I want to give you a warning right now. Everybody, Christian and non-Christian alike, has a laziness challenge. We all do. I do, because sometimes it's just not easy to do the right thing. But I have a question for you. Would you rather live your life in frustration? Would you rather struggle and push hard every day? Or would you really rather have all the freedoms God wants for you? You say, well, Ron, is this all spiritual? No, it's not. Because God didn't just give you a soul and a spirit, a mind, will, and emotions. God gave you a body as well. And it's all interconnected. It's all one big package. Now, based on my research, and I want to encourage you to do this, I want you to go to choosegreatness.com. After this show's over, I want you to go to choosegreatness.com, choosegreatness.com, and you're going to see on that website a special downloadable audio set that you can purchase very reasonably that has all the research I'm going to be talking about. It's called How to Have Super Abundant Energy. How to have super abundant energy. It has hours of information. It is carefully researched. I've checked with doctors, with physicians, with experts in their fields to put together a simple package that can help any Christian have super abundant energy for the glory of God. So you have to go to choosegreatness.com to get that. Now, on our next show, I'm going to be talking about energy drains. How do you plug the energy drains? And there are some very interesting ones. On another show, I'm going to talk about energy switches, little techniques you can do to just give yourself a burst during the day to serve God and serve your family and do a better job in His kingdom. So this is going to be fun the next few shows. We're going to have a great time. And my purpose is that you have super abundant energy for the glory of God. So what are you going to do? Go to choosegreatness.com. And remember to email me. Let me know your questions about health and the psychology of fitness, and let me know what you need. And tell your friends about this show. ChooseGreatness.com. Go there today, and I will see you on the next program. God bless you.